Gordon, welcome to the farm. We're 4 years on from the Millennium Drought. We have a Murray-Darling Basin water plan in place, yet this year rice farmers are struggling to get enough water to produce a decent rice crop. What's going on?
Mike, it's really reasonably simple. Allocations are built on inflows. And inflows, particularly since about the end of July, have been absolutely abysmal. I flew into Canberra this morning and you can see the upper Murrumbidgee from there, and there's patches there where I believe you could walk across it. It's that shallow. In the case of the Murray, Jingellic seems to be the usual key station that I watch. During this part of the spring, later part of the spring, you would expect the flows there to be typically around 15, 20, 25, 30,000 megalitres a day. Currently they're about 1,500 megalitres a day. So if you've got no inflows, you've got no allocation. It really is that simple. In terms of the Murray-Darling Basin Plan, they recovered a lot of water under that process, but their entitlements are exactly the same as our entitlements, and they'd be suffering from the same problem. If there's no water, there's no water. It's that simple.
So it's simply climate related, it's not related to the plan and
simply
the
climate.
allocations?
Simply climate related. As I said, allocations are based on inflows. Inflows, particularly since the end of July, just been awful and really frustrating and disappointing after such a really good start through the autumn and early winter.
Exactly. So there's going to be a Australia-China free trade agreement announced today. I know the rice industry was disappointed with Korea and Japan. Are you going to be disappointed with China?
I think we're going to be disappointed with China. We're not going to be included in this round. It would appear from other media this morning that we're likely to be included in a second round. It'll be negotiated over the next 2 to 3 years. We'll be pushing for that and continue to push for that. It's a huge market and we're pretty keen to get just a small slice of the action.
Obviously a huge market. You wearing your National Farmers Federation hat, you were in a muted way critical of the abolition of the National Water Commission, whose powers have been devolved out to other agencies. Why were you critical, and what's happening now, and what's the solution?
Look, the critical part's reasonably simple. We have a long commitment to the National Water Initiative, and the National Water Commission was the auditor effectively of that initiative. So we were a little disappointed to see it go. Having said that, we were keen to see those roles that we thought were important, which included the audit of the initiative. We were keen to see them continued and handed to whoever might have been deemed appropriate. Now the government's determined at this stage that some of those roles will go to the Productivity Commission, some to ABARE. We're quite comfortable with ABARE taking over the reporting on water trade. We think that's actually sensible. And it will knit in fairly well with some of the other work that they do around economics. We think that will work relatively good. Productivity Commission auditing the Basin Plan and the National Water Initiative, not perhaps quite so comfortable with that. We think they have the ability to do it, but the Productivity Commission doesn't have a history of working in the same collaborative way that the National Water Commission did. So we think there's a bit of tweaking needed there to make that actually work very well.
So there's got to be some kind of cultural exchange where you get closer and...
Look, we'd like to see them do this particular role in a way that's a little different to how they would normally do it. Now, I don't think that's complicated or difficult. We just need some commitment to do it a little bit differently.
So was it ideology, you think, that drove the federal government to abolish the commission, or was it just merely budget restraint?
Yeah, look, I think it's probably just budget restraint. We'd had no sense that this was likely to happen before they started talking about cutting the purse. But I mean, you'd have to ask the government what drove them to do it.
All right, Les, thank you for your time. Just before we close off, you're president of the Rice Growers Association of Australia and on the National Farmers Federation here. Can you tell us a bit about your farming operation?
At the moment, we're just wound up sowing this season's crop. It's obviously back a little bit, and that's reflective of the allocation. It's been a pretty windy sort of year, so establishment's been a little bit patchy, but for the most part, as we usually do at this time of year, just keen to get on with it, get it established and get it growing, and hoping for a long hot summer.
Well, indeed, and I hope the heavens open up and you get more water. That's what we all need.
It's interesting. Good rain over the weekend, but almost no improvement in stream flow out of that. So it's quite dry in the catchment too. It doesn't look good.
Les Gordon, thank you very much.
Thank you.